Hello, Slow Parenting family from across the globe. Thank you so much for joining me, Richie Adewusi, on another episode of our program, the Slow Parenting podcast and live stream on Nostalgia Media. Thank you for all your support, all the new subscribers. We appreciate you. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for the follow, okay, and all the likes. Okay, thank you so very much. Today we are going to be discussing the second part of device addiction. Okay, it's going to be a very interesting episode, very educative as always. Okay, so I invite you to fasten your seatbelts, grab your popcorn, and then enjoy the ride. Okay. As always, I'm not alone. Okay. So today, I have the pleasure of introducing again Tony. Okay, Tony Phyllis Wiggins, all the way from Plateau, Jos, Plateau State in Nigeria. I think Tony is still trying to adjust herself and her background. I think she's okay now. Tony, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, you're welcome. Apologies today again. Apologies today. Angela is supposed to join us today on the program. Unfortunately, she's bereaved, and she had to go attend to that family issue. Okay, we commiserate with her, and then our prayers are with her. So today, Tony, we are going on with the discussion on the second part of our focus on device addiction. Okay. What we know is, and what we've heard and what we've seen, both as parents and adults, is that parents always look forward to their children being better than they are. Okay, getting better education, being better financially, their social status, and all of that. Okay, and yes, that's legitimate. You know, for any parents. I believe, one of my dreams as I was growing up, as I was in school, was to do certain things my father was interested in doing that I could see him working at doing. I promised myself I was going to, take them to the next level. And I succeeded in doing that. And before he passed, he was happy that that was the case. Now we have children, okay, and young persons. The same dreams we have, the same aspirations we have concerning them, but certain things have gotten in the way, okay, to challenge those dreams, to put some spanner in the works concerning those dreams. Incidentally, some of the things that have created, if you like, shortened expectations, for putting it in, for want of putting it a better way, that cut that short the dreams of parents of having their children be better than themselves, go better than themselves, incidentally happened to be something or some things that were devised to even make life better. Unfortunately so. Unfortunately so. So it's a catch-22 kind of situation. And we are going to be discussing that today, not with any, please don't feel, if you are listening to me, you're listening to us on TikTok or on YouTube, we are not against any parents. We are not against any parents or any institutions. We're only just saying that we should parent different, meaning we should be intentional about our parenting. We should be aware of what's going on. We should be intentional about the use of technology, especially. Today, we are talking part 2 of device addiction. Now, you are a parent, you are okay. You sent your child to school. They send you the list of the first set of things that the child needs to study in the, and then you see tablet, you see iPad. Of course, you have the money to buy them. You go ahead, you're happy. Oh, I could give my child what he needs. Really? Yes, really. You are not doing anything wrong. Okay, let's put those backgrounds there. You're not doing anything wrong. You believe you are doing the best for your child or your children, okay, by doing what the educational institutions that you've gone to register and has said, this is what your child needs to study in this school. Fine. It doesn't end there. What we've learned, and there are researches to back this up, and we're going to play you a video, not our in-house video. We're still going to play you our in-house video. We have a professional, okay, a renowned researcher that you will hear. It's not a long video, but within those 2 minutes plus, almost 3 minutes, you will get the meat of what we're talking about here. That between 2009 and 2010 and now, our children and young people have more gadgets to use, to study with. Yet, their reasoning are not at par. It's not the same, okay? They are behaving irrationally. Some parents are excusing these behaviors in things like, oh, he has ADHD. What brought the ADHD? What you know, we've gone into looking for all sorts of professional labelings to excuse behavioral deficiencies that have a source. So this program today would maybe set you off on, really? Wow, I didn't know that. But that's why we're here. That's why this program is here. That's why we set up the Universal Parenting Institute, to bring those things that you need to help your children to grow, to become the grown adults who would be able to stand out there in the general population and take informed decisions, make their own decision, be able to stand on their own. Okay, so research has it that before I'm going to bring Tony in presently. I'm just trying to, paint a background to all of this. Research has it that when your children spend 2 to 5 hours, your children spend some children more on devices, electronic devices, be they phone, tablets, iPads, laptops, desktops. These devices are designed to, excite. Let me go to the top of that excitement tree, to addict. They become addicted to the scrolling, the light, and there are effects to those. So whilst when we were growing up, this is where the thing comes in now, okay? Before about 2010 and all of that, children will go to school, they're given homework, they will do the homework, they will write. As they are writing, is it not when you are writing that they know whether you have a good handwriting or bad handwriting? But I got used to, I'm sorry to say it, but it is true. I got used to my teachers and my lecturers eventually to say, okay, Richard, this is a very good argument, but I can hardly read what you are writing. So I always ask them that time, if it's how did you know that it's a very good argument if you couldn't read what I'm writing? But I knew that my handwriting was horrible. Okay? Even in adulthood, people used to say, are you a medical doctor that you're writing this? So I say, I'm not a medical doctor. Okay? But then, now, laptops, devices have thrown away handwriting. Okay? Devices have thrown away handwriting. You could type, but it doesn't say your child is learning how to read, digest, and put down what he or she must have understood from what is writing it, instead of scrolling, skimming, skipping, go scroll. It doesn't mean he's taking anything in. Okay, so therein lies the challenge. Yes, you've done the right thing. The school have gone, if you like, digital in some of their programming. Yes, you agree. Oh, of course, it's technology. Oh, of course, you have the money to, get the equipment and, pay the fees. It should not stop there. That's our own concern. Yes, thank you for doing, well, the right thing. The school have said. The school too is not doing anything wrong by investing in some applications that are supposed to make children and young people study and learn certain things better, or maybe faster. But the challenge here is that faster is not always better. Yes, faster is not always better. I work with a team of people. I'm a writer and also supervise a publishing company. We'll give assignments. Please, can I have this material at so time? Somebody will go and ask Claude or any of the AI agents, give me this material, number of words. And they will submit. And allow, sir, what do you think about I'm like, did you read what you just submitted to me? Because I will know that you didn't write it. It's not because of the speed. There's nothing wrong with using technology to get things done maybe faster, but you need the human input. Okay? So in my coaching classes for young writers, yes, use AI, use technology to maybe put your synopsis up. But now do the right thing. Okay? Write your story by yourself. AI can give you suggestions. Wonderful. There's nothing wrong with that. The same thing we're saying, the children, the applications you bought, the school have said, when they have followed through, when we listen to our video, but before we go to our video, Toyi, I hope I'm not lost in my own thoughts, okay, by thinking that I'm the only one who is seeing this challenge. I couldn't be the only one. If not so, people will not go into the research. What's your experience in this area, Toyi? Hello, Toyi is still having some technical issues. She seems frozen. Hello, Toyi. Okay, yeah, still having technical issues. When she comes back, we'll continue with her. Now the challenge here is, okay, Toyi is back. Toyi, we're saying, what's your experience with this issue of young people relying solely on the use of devices, even for doing schoolwork?
Okay, I'm so sorry. My network has
we get that. We get that. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay, so when the very first time I had an encounter with him to secondary school, and I wasn't even informed. He was given the tablet, and I was sent the bill, and I was like, why will you guys do a thing like that? And they were like, okay, we are in the alpha age. We need them to be up to speed with what is happening in the world. So I went to the school to ask the principal, how do you checkmate what they are doing on their laptops?
It is the Z age. It is the Gen Z. It's not the Alpha. It's Gen Z. so let's correct that. Yes.
So I was like, how do you checkmate what they are doing when you are not with them, and when they are not in class and they are in their hostel? Do you know what they are doing? So he told me that the apps that they put in the laptop or on the tablet are being monitored from a bigger room. So if you turn around to do something different, it will trigger something in the office, and the person behind the control, we know what you have done. So that gave me a little peace of mind. And when they come back home with their laptops and they are going back to school, before they admit them into the school, they will go through they know what they are looking for, to know maybe you have done something contrary to what they gave you that laptop to do. So we cannot divorce them from using all the gadgets now. But just like you said, as an intentional parent, you have to make sure that your eyes is always on what they are doing. You are trying your best. You cannot 100% say you can control what your children are consuming. And it is not even only the young people that are addicted to devices. Even people of our age right now are becoming addicted to devices. People are now so hooked on ChatGPT, they don't want to think for themselves. They just want to put it on ChatGPT, and then they are not letting their creativity flow anymore. So the problem is wide, but if we become intentional to say we can nip it at the bud by making sure that we are present in the lives of our children, checkmating what they are doing and helping them to say, you can do it without looking it up on the computer. It will improve your creativity. And then you help them to say, okay, write it. The scripture says, write it down, make it plain. You know, if I write something down, I retain it more than when I'm even reading it on the computer or reading it on my phone.
Exactly.
Yes, so we need to make our children do things like that, and extracurriculum activities that will take their focus away from the screen. It's not even only the devices, even the television, can also become an addiction for young people.
No, Tony, but in this case, in this instance, we're focusing on the use of devices for, in quotes, educational purposes, even legitimate educational purposes, like the example you gave about your son. Okay, that's a very legitimate one. And then the responses you gave concerning the checks and balances that the school put in place, makes sense. Okay, it's just one part, but that couldn't be all. That's for the school. And like Tony said, don't rely on the school told me, oh, they are checking. You, as a parent, what do they do with the tablets or the devices when they come home? Okay. Now, you need to know that we have advanced about 5, strategies that you can, apply to getting your children to use the devices legitimately for studying, like, they are meant to be. Before we go into our in-house video, Tony said even adults. I know I said, okay, let us stay here, okay, it's about children and devices and their schoolwork. But like we say, when you start doing something at a stage, you get used to it. It shows up somewhere else. Okay. I will give an example that the person I'm going to be referring to will feel very embarrassed when the person eventually gets to see this video, gets to see this program. It's one of my team members in my publishing, endeavor. We devised a strategy, a tool to help authors, bring their books to life, especially people who might not be able to write their own stories, people who don't have the time or, well, the skills, okay? And we worked with a particular author and captured the stories. And this team member was assigned to, if you like, transcribe, of course, the AI transcription is there. No, I don't want the AI transcription. I want the transcription for the voice of the, author. I want the voice of the author in the author's book. So it's not ghost writing. It's not AI writing. It's not me writing the story for the author. The author has told his or her story. We have captured it, recorded it. So we need to transcribe it and retain, the nuances of the author's presentations and all of that. And the team member goes ahead and, whoa, wonderful, presented. I'm like, whoa, wonderful, good job. And the author says, no, this is not my voice. It's script, it's not audio, but it's script. But the author could say, knows what he has said, how he put it, and all of that.
Yes.
And I went back and said, sir, what did you do exactly? And he didn't lie. He didn't, he said, well, sir, I asked Claude. Claude is an AI agent. I asked Claude to give me this chapter following the specification, following, this content I have just, dropped for you. Claude, give me a chapter. So Claude is not the voice of Claude, it's the body of Esau and the hand of Jacob, right? It's the voice of Claude, but then the frame of the author. And the author said, no, this is not. And I looked at it and said, yes, this is not, So these things will show up somewhere, even when they are used legitimately. Remember now, we are not talking about whether they are using it to play games or watch movies or go into some other harmful sites. No, even when you are using, if you gotten used to AI and bots and AI agents, okay, you become lazy. The thinking becomes lazy. Everything becomes like, oh, how am I going to do this? As an author, as a writer, what got me interested in writing? I was fascinated. I'm like, how can somebody put A and B together, form one word, and then go ahead to put the word with another word and form one sentence? And I was fascinated by that. Me, as a child growing up, that was my fascination. That took me to go and read the complete work of Shakespeare. Primary school. I'm like, wow, somebody did this. I can do this. I will do this. What is it that, okay, our children want to challenge AI to say I can? They're not. They're just throwing the things to AI. I do my homework. That wouldn't help, okay? Don't take it from myself or Tony alone. Hear from the experts. Well, they, are experts in this area of work, okay? To hear what they've said about what they have found out, research over time in several countries. I think they did this this research in 80 different countries over time, okay? So we'll play that video now. When we come back, we look at the issues that they have raised and we continue, okay? Please stay on the line.
So a sad fact our generation has to face is this. Our kids are less cognitively capable than we were at their age. My name is Dr. Jared Cooney Horvath. I'm a former teacher turned cognitive neuroscientist who focuses on human learning. And I do not receive funding, nor have I ever, from big tech. Every generation has outperformed their parents, and that's exactly what we want. We want sharper kids. And the reason for this largely has been school. Each generation spends more time in school. We use school to develop our cognition until Gen Z. Gen Z is the first generation in modern history to underperform us on basically every cognitive measure we have, from basic attention to memory to literacy to numeracy to executive functioning to even general IQ, even though they go to more school than we did. So why? What happened? What happened around 2010 that decoupled schooling from cognitive development? It can't be school. Schools basically look the same. It can't be biology. This hasn't had enough time to change. The answer appears to be the tools we are using within schools to drive that learning. Across 80 countries, as Jean was just saying, if you look at the data, once countries adopt digital technology widely in schools, performance goes down significantly, to the point where kids who use computers about 5 hours per day in school for learning purposes will score over 2/3 of a standard deviation less than kids who rarely or never touch tech at school. And that's across 80 countries. Bring it home to the US. Let's go to the US. We have our NAEP. That's our big data. Take any state, and here's a fun experiment you can try. Take any state NAEP data, compare that to when that state adopted one-to-one technology widely, and watch what happens. The NAEP data will plateau and then start to drop. Of course, this is all correlative. What we really want is causative. To get causation, what you need is academic research, and you need mechanisms, explanations for why we're seeing what we're seeing. Luckily, we have academic research stretching back to 1962 that shows the exact same story for 60 years. When tech enters education, learning goes down. In fact, because what do kids do on computers? They skim. So rather than determining what do we want our children to do and gearing education towards that, we are redefining education to better suit the tool. That's not progress, that is surrender. So as we go through our discussion today, there's going to be a lot of talk about smartphones and social media, rightly so. But I'm the voice here to remind you that even in schools, it doesn't matter what the size of the screen is, if it's a phone, if it's a laptop, if it's a desktop, and it doesn't matter who bought it. Is it school sanctioned? Does it have the word education stamped on it? It doesn't matter. All of these things are also going to hurt learning, which in turn are going to hurt our kids' cognitive development, right at the time when we need our kids to be.
Thank you so much. Welcome back. Well, you had the expert talking, and so it's not hearsay. Okay, it should be worrisome. Our dreams have always been that our children will be better than us. But you have a child now who is fired up. He can get all the ideas are, welling up inside him or her. He tells, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But he's not able to do any of it. Why? Have you wondered why? It's not just the regular standard laziness. No. Something else is at play. Okay? Some have gone ahead to take the children, the young people, to say, go and do one test, go to meet one therapist, or they come back and they say ADHD. Well, it might be true that those things are there, but the basic thing is the time that young person, that child, has been spending on devices, on scrolling, on skipping, just scroll. The brain is reacting to the speed. So there will be tendencies for that child or young person to be hyperactive. Okay? Hyperactivity without the same way you're scrolling and you are not retaining anything. You cannot put anything, things you don't retain down. You have this wonderful idea about writing this wonderful book or doing this wonderful painting. You are looking at it, I can do this. But you're scrolling, you're checking the next one, you're checking the next. Do one. Tell your child, okay, put the device down. Oh, you can do that. That's what you're trying to do. Okay, now, show me a sample. Go to your drawing book. Or it's a story you want to tell. Now, okay, go ahead. Write. This is pen, this paper, a notebook. Start that story. Okay, give me the opening paragraph, the opening introduction to this, your story. I want to see it. Mommy, see, I know it already. I know I will write it. No, wait. Please, yeah, I know you know it. I trust you. I believe you. Just write it here, the first paragraph, not all the story. If that child writes that first paragraph of the story, the remaining ones will follow. But the scrolling, oh, I get it done. Don't worry, I'm almost done. It will never get done. I have experiences over this, meaning lived experience over this. It's a battle. We're increasingly having young people who have all the ideas in the world, but who don't get anything done. Little or nothing done. It's a challenge. Bright can perform, but never really gets to perform. Once in a while, they get one thing done, but mostly below their capacity for getting things done. The reasons are found or could be found in what you just had that expert say. And what can you do about this? Like I said, we have produced a video for you for that. We've suggested things you can do. You can add more. Those might not be the only things that can be done, but we have given you 5 strategies, okay? 5 suggested action plans that could help you to help your children and give you in-house video at this time. I think Tony is still having some challenges with her network. Okay, so we'll just continue. So we're going to play you our in-house video now. When we return, we go into responding to questions and comments from community members. Okay, so don't go away. Okay, please watch the video.
Dear parents, this video deserves your undivided attention, please. Children and young people between the ages of 3 and 12 who spend 2 or more hours daily on screens are up to 90% more likely to present with behavioral, vocabulary, and key negative developmental challenges compared to their peers with limited screen time exposure. This is backed up by research from Princeton University, in the USA, amongst other respectable research institutions. The generation with the most access to information in human history is becoming less equipped to think, retain, and reason through the information available to them. When the brain becomes repeatedly exposed to fast-moving, algorithm-driven content, it gets conditioned to skim, not to think or reason, and some parents, if not most, are completely unaware this is happening. This is episode 2 in our Parenting and Discipline series on the #SlowParenting podcast. Please subscribe because this series addresses the gaps parents need to pay attention to. Many educational institutions globally now require devices for learning, so the challenge has shifted completely. Here are 5 ways to take back control without removing tools your children and young people genuinely need for school. 1. Separate learning mode from entertainment mode in devices. Use parental controls to block entertainment applications and social media during study hours entirely, because the same device carrying a homework portal also carries every distraction known to man, and children and young people will always find their way to the distraction without a hard boundary in place. 2. Insist on handwriting versions of homeworks alongside digital versions. After every screen-based study session, have your children and young people summarize what they covered in a physical notebook, because research consistently confirms that handwriting transfers information into long-term memory far more effectively than typing ever does. 3. Apply the 20-20-20 rule. This requires that for every 20 minutes of screen study, your children and young people must take a 20-minute break completely away from the device, because this interrupts the hypnotic pull of the screen and gives the brain the pause it needs to consolidate what it has just processed. 4. Audit what educational actually means. Sit with your children and young people and go through every application on their device together, asking what they have genuinely learned from each one in the past month, because many platforms marketed as educational tools are built with the same addictive mechanics as entertainment applications. 5. Make conversations the final steps of every study session. Before the laptop closes, ask your children and young people key questions about what they just studied, because the moment they have to explain something out loud, their brain shifts from passive exposure into active memory, which is where real learning and cognitive development actually happen. These 5 habits would together rebuild the thinking capacity that unmanaged screen time is quietly and consistently taking away from our children and young people. The live stream video on this topic goes much deeper. Please watch it and engage with us. We would love to have you in that conversation. Thank you for watching. If this video is helpful, please like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Kindly share with other parents who are navigating this, and stay connected with the #SlowParenting podcast community. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode in this series.
Welcome back, and thank you for watching our video. Okay, like we've said, feel free to share, feel free to download and watch over again. These are key issues, okay, in helping our children make use of devices legitimately. And when we say legitimately, for educational purposes, okay? Thank you. So we'll look at what community members are saying about this episode today. The first community member here says, let the children use their devices freely. This is the new norm. There's nothing they can be exposed to online that they would not be exposed to in later life. I don't agree. I don't agree. We don't agree. And experience does not agree. Practice does not agree. Now, there's something called age appropriateness. Okay? Children should be left to be children, grow up as children. You don't encourage or pamper children to lose childhood. Okay? Devices and certain applications have all it takes to make that happen, to get children to become adults overnight in their thoughts, in their behaviors, in their practices, in their experiences. There's a reason why God does not make babies to come out and they come out with teeth, all their teeth formed, and they come out and begin to walk the same day. They're humans. It's one step after the other. In the use of devices for, remember what we're talking about here is use of devices for academic purposes. Your child has a device issued by the school or purchased by you by the reason that the school says you need to get one for your child. Good. You need to be intentional about getting your child to use that device for the educational purpose for which it is bought. That's what we're saying here. You're not going to be, agree, we've said, set boundaries. There's time for games, there's time for watching movies, there's agree on those things, and then of course, what kind of movies? What kind of games? You have to be involved in the lives of your children as they grow up. Okay? So we don't agree that there's nothing they will meet now that they are not going to. It's not every, all of us don't meet things the same ways, the same time, the same age. So there are certain things when children are exposed to be like, wow, this is an abuse of this person's childhood. So you are introducing devices and applications that would constitute abuse to the childhood of your children in the name of freedom. No. And rights. No. Okay? There's a reason why people who are below 18 cannot go to a bank and open a bank account, cannot vote, cannot go and rent a house, go and meet it in some sane environment. You're under 18, nobody will rent you an apartment. They ask you to go and call your parents or bring a guardian. Yeah. The most they will do, if the landlord is so good, is to give the lease to that, because the landlord himself would also be breaking the law by giving a minor an apartment, selling a vehicle to a minor, selling alcohol to a minor, admitting a minor into a bar, into a club. Yes, there are reasons why those things are there in society. So why would you not now make the efforts to be sure that your children are not accessing those places through the same devices you use your money to buy for them to study? Yes, yes. Okay, that's what we're talking about, okay? The second community member here said, my child listens to podcasts and watches documentaries online constantly. Since those are educational in a sense, any need to put a stop to that? Well, get involved. What's the content? If we are saying, again, it's not even just about what the content is, it's about also the time spent on screen. From the video you watched, the in-house video, we said for every 20 minutes your child or young person spends watching something, most contents are short. There's a reason why they are short. It's to take you from the other one to the other one to the other one to the other one. The brain is trying to take it all in, but you're still asking why somebody is behaving abnormally? Okay, continue. That accounts for a whole lot of it. Okay, so what is advised is for every 20 minutes your child or young person spends watching or doing, let that child step away from that device for another 20 minutes. Within those 20 minutes, from the video you watched, let the child write down what did you understand from what you just read on the tablet. And write it down. Get a notebook for that child. First, let the child learn to take things easy, not the hyper speed of the algorithm of the devices or the applications. Okay? So, is watching podcasts. What kind of podcast? How does that relate to the education? We are talking this particular episode about the use of devices for educational programs. Okay? Yes, it's educational. If it makes sense, if you say, well, it's okay, yeah, but then you also have to have a discussion concerning the time, okay, that person spends on the screen, okay? So number 3 here says, I am thinking of only letting my children use their devices when I am in the same room with them. So is that a good strategy? You would exhaust yourself. Yeah. Look, most children will behave nicely when their parents are around. I'm choosing my word. Most children would. What's important is what your children are doing or would get to do when you are not there. That's just what you need to train them about. It's not what they do when you are around. Okay? Whether devices or whatever other thing. What's important is what would they do when they are with their friends. It might not be their own devices. It might be children who are brought up properly with their friends, and their friends are watching what don't make sense to how they are brought up. They will walk away. They will leave their friends. Or they will tell them, no, I can't watch this. That's what's important. It's not what that your child will do with you there. Oh, there are children that are very good Nollywood and Hollywood actors and Bollywood actors and actresses. Yes, you are there. They would act to please you. When you are not there, you faint when you get to know what they are capable of doing when you are not there. And that's what should worry you. Okay? That's what should worry you. My son used to spend most of his time on his phone. Now it is spoiled and he needs a new one. He keeps pressuring me to get him one, promising that he will change, but I do not believe him. What do I do? Make a deal. Does he need the phone for study? Remember, that's what we are talking about today. Devices for study. Does he need the phone for study? Okay. Do you need the phone to monitor him, meaning for him to report himself, oh, I'm home now, or I'm gotten to school, or I'm at work now? It's important. All those are useful, needs or useful purposes for devices. Okay. Make a deal. Okay, you said you will change. Agree on boundaries. Agree on timings for the use of that device. If you can afford it, get him another one. Yeah. Hold him accountable. That's important. By agreeing on boundaries about the use or uses of that device. Okay, that's our advice from here. For you, parents wondering what to do, the solution is simple. Somebody is making a suggestion. For you, parents wondering what to do, the solution is simple. Collect your children's devices and let them get more healthy hobbies. This one confused even me. Collect your children's devices. Thank you, Distant, for joining on TikTok. Collect your children's devices. That sounds like a dictator. And let them mix their use of devices. You can't, if you can afford it. We are talking about supervised use or uses. We are talking about uses that you have agreed with them on. It doesn't say they should not be engaged. We have said they spend 20 minutes on the screen. They have to spend another 20 minutes outside of the screen before they get back. Even if it's homework, that homework they are done on the screen, what did you understand about the homework? Write it on this notebook. Those 20 minutes pass. What is happening at that point is that by the time the child is writing, he would be able to recall what he's read. But once he remains on the screen, everything starts and ends on the screen. He might not remember anything he's done till the next day. But the time it will take to recall what you've read and be able to put such down in writing helps the cognitive, development of that child or young person. That's what we're saying here. Okay? That's what we're saying. 6 years says, how do you respond when a child insists that gaming online content is their passion or future career goal? Okay. It's good. That's a nice escapist excuse. Okay, it's a future career goal. Wait till you get to that. You have to study. There's step 1 before step 2. The people who designed those things studied. Okay, to playing the game would not that your father is a medical doctor does not make you a medical doctor. That your mother is a pilot doesn't make you a pilot. Okay, that your uncle is an author, a writer, doesn't make you a writer. You have to learn to do those things by yourself and qualify. So playing online game don't qualify you to become an online game application developer. No. Okay? You can spend time all the time you like doing. So don't fall for that, blackmail. Finish school. You want to be an online game application developer. Fine, beautiful, lucrative, wonderful. But then finish school first. Finish school. I didn't say don't play your online game, but play it within the agreed time that you can use your device. Do other things that we have agreed that you need to do at the given times. That's the issue here, okay? Number 7 here, thankfully the last one. It says, how do parents place healthy screen time restrictions on? Oh, no, this is confusing. How do parents place healthy screen time restriction on my children without making them? Do you mean to say, how do I? Because we said, how do parents? How do children place healthy screen? Is it children or how do I? I'm trying to read this to understand it. Okay. How do parents place healthy screen time restriction on children without making them feel socially excluded, especially when so much of what children talk about at school now happens online? As someone who experienced this in my school days, I am curious. Regulate, we are not saying exclude. Restriction is not exclusion. Restriction is not, supervision is not denial. We're saying supervise, be sure. As a matter of fact, it's just like TV time. Some children, when they understand what their family values are, what their cultural, what their traditional values are, as against certain things that will be presented to them. There are programs that will be on the television in some homes, and children will change the channel and say, no, I shouldn't watch this, or go put it off, or leave the place by themselves. Those are the kind of children we are encouraging you to, bring up. Children who said, no, I know this is not good for me, I walk away. Okay? Now, to this community member, if you are new, you might not get the grasp of this, but if you've been a member following this program, you will know that we've always said, agree on boundaries with your children and young people. Agree on boundaries. If you agree on boundaries, okay, you want to watch movies. We agree in this house that watching movies can only happen when, or would only happen, try to avoid any of those dictatorial words, can, must, would only, or could only, or would only happen when you have finished doing your homework, when you would have finished doing your house chores, okay? When you observe your siesta, when you've eaten your meal, agree on those things. And then if you get to disobey this and use for this time, this is the penalty. So when you apply those penalties, the child will not feel bad because you know that he has broken the rule. But you must set the rule in agreement. Don't dictate the rule. That's what we say, agree on boundaries. Set rewards. And if you like, punishments for breaking the boundaries. So this children now that you're restricting, did you decide to put restriction on your own and say, this is what's going to happen? No. Let them know. Discuss it. Okay, let's agree. You want to. What do you suggest? You know what you have in your mind. You already know what you want to tell them. But have that discussion. And you're also teaching them, negotiation skills, by the way. Yeah. You're also equipping them, mentoring them to learn how to negotiate and not become a dictator like they would accuse you to be if you say this is what you must do because I said so. They will wait till when they to grow up and become, they will have their own relationship. They will start, they will have their own children. It continues. But if they get it from you that, okay, guys, come. Now, happy birthday, Junior. Congratulations for your new device, your new iPad. Whoa, wow, Uncle did so well. Oh, Auntie Gloria also sent you a laptop. Wonderful. Wow. Okay, well, sit down. Let's discuss. Now, Mom, what? No problem. Not a problem. Sit down. Let's agree on when and how you will use your new toys. Agree. Let's hear him. Then it's okay. This is when, this is how. But you already know some things, maybe because you are a member of this community, you've had some things, you have some ideas, you have some. Let the child know. Don't do anything in secret, because see, what they can do in secret, the things they are capable of doing in secret are crazier than anything you can conjure of doing in secret yourself as a parent. Yes, especially when it comes to devices and applications. Yes. But when trust is built, the child would have nothing to hide. Okay? Don't start your children up on hiding to do anything. Let them know the reasons for which engaging in certain behaviors, even with their devices, would not pay them. Let them know why you are suggesting to them to use their devices in particular ways, in specific ways. And if you like, create a tool to monitor what you're saying and come back at specific times to share. You see, what has happened over this time now, because you have, like, give me that first paragraph, and the child writes the first paragraph of that story. Okay? Or, oh, you want to be an artist, you can draw. Okay, the first part of that picture, go ahead, draw it on this paper. No, not on the screen. Yeah, you have, Mom, no, there's a drawing application that I have. No. Beautiful. Can you do it for me on this paper? Then you can actually transfer it there. Can't you do that? Yes, I can. I can scan it. Fine. Do it for me on this paper. Get your children to learn things manually. Okay? It doesn't say that the AI world is useless. No. Let them be human still. Let them be able to use their thinking and reasoning faculties. Let them be able to practice what they've reasoned out. Let them be able to express their reasoning, not gobble digital products. They are called products, by the way. Did you know that? Oh, they're products. So there's no accident in some of the things you hear. Oh, they're products. Okay? So I am grateful for your time for today, and thank you for making our program for today worthwhile by being here, by all your questions, all your contributions. Okay, we thank you, and we encourage you to subscribe if you have not subscribed already. If you have, thank you. We encourage you to scan this QR code for any of our books and pick them up, support us on the program, okay? Share the stream, share the podcast, share the videos with your friends, your families, the one that you find useful, and don't be selfish with anything you've heard of that, okay? Let's be our brother's keepers. So I want to thank you. I will see you in the next episode, okay? It's always Wednesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and 7 p.m. West Africa time, including Nigeria. Till I come your way again, it's Richie Adewusi. Tony had some technical issues and was not able to rejoin us. We'll see her again next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.